What's up, guys? Cypherpole 808 back again with another live stream. And today we are going to try and live stream chapter 1018 of One Piece entitled Jinbei versus Who's Who. Give it a few minutes just to get the stream going, see if anyone wants to jump in. We'll do a quick recap of what happened from last week. If you guys don't remember, there was a lot of hype information, so I'm really curious to see if it's going to keep going. We had all that stuff with Who's Who and drop in those little bombshells about the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and kind of curious to see, whose fruit was that? What's the significance of it? Are there a lot of people that know about it? Because so far in the story, it hasn't really seemed like too many people, are recognizing Luffy because of the fruit that he has. No one's really seemed to freak out because oh my god, he's got the Gomu Gomu no Mi. So it's a little curious to see kind of why that fruit was so important. That because Who's Who lost it, it was a cause for him to get imprisoned by the world government. So I'm curious if that was supposed to be for Imu-sama or one of the Gorosei members, or does the Gorosei realize that it was Shanks that stole it? Is that why, maybe that's why he is on good terms with them or something like that? So, I'd be kind of curious. But that was kind of, the main thing. We had Tama kind of making her announcement and getting all of the gifters to switch sides, not completely changing the tide of battle, but kind of switching it over, getting it over to the good guys again. After all that bad news with Luffy's dead and Momo's dead. So it's pretty interesting. But let's jump into the new chapter now. So chapter 1018 titled Jinbei versus Who's Who. So on the cover page, looks like we got Ulti over here, and it says reader request. Page 1 is a child trying to read a book of dinosaurs and being interrupted by Ulti, who wants him to play with her and her stuffed dinosaurs. Okay, so a little brother and sibling, cute little rivalry. I like it. Looks like, we got all the different gifters that we've seen as far as the different types of dinosaurs that we've seen them be. We got the pterodactyl, which is king. We got the brontosaurus over there, which is supposed to be queen. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Let's jump in. Let's see where the chapter starts off. All right. Inside the castle, the headliners and the gifters have joined the samurai army, about 300 of them. Okay, so we got a nice shot of all the gifters that have kind of switched side because of Tama's announcement. Shows them kind of, rallying and kind of leading a charge. And it says, it all happened after a girl appeared on the performance stage and gave them an order to switch sides. I believe she has some kind of power over them. Okay, so clearly not everyone is, familiar with Tama's power, what it's capable of. And then what do we got next? Okay, it says, it's that kid. She used some kind of weird magic. Will it come undone if we kill her? Oh, okay, and then we see Usopp. He's freaking out. He's oh no, they're targeting Tama. So, I don't know if it's other devil fruit users where, if say Tama gets knocked out unconscious, is he going to undo everything she did? Kind of like how, what's her name? Sugar in Dressrosa, when she was knocked out by Usopp, it kind of undid everything that she did. So all of the people she had turned to toys had switched back. So I'd be curious to see if that's kind of the same thing. Hopefully we won't even get to that. Don't need to find out. But let's see. What do we got next? All right. Scorpion Death Needle. Master Daifugu. Okay, so he's taking them down, kind of protecting them. Oh, hi, Daifugu. Okay, so Tama's saying hello to him. Hey, hop on. Horselina. Okay, so we got Speech. He's back in the mix over here. It was success. You did great, Master. Oh, Master, I noticed something. Hey, and Usopp's yo, any extra room for me? But, okay, so what does she got? What did she notice? Komachio was knocked out back there. You must be worried, right? Let us take care of it. You will? Gee, thanks. Okay, so they noticed, Komachio had been carrying them and took a massive hit a few chapters ago. So clearly Komachio's out for the count. But they're yo, you don't need to worry about her, Master, referring to Tama. They're we'll take care of her. You just keep going on ahead and doing what you need to do. Okay, what do we got? Okay, now we over here looking at Nami. That was really a remarkable power. And then we got Usopp again. Yeah, you don't usually make friends on a battlefield. Okay, and now we're seeing, okay, so now we got Zeus coming back out. Hey, Nami, can I be your servant like before? What do you mean? Absolutely not. Okay, so Nami's still, pissed at him. She used him to do that attack on Ulti and, get that huge damage, but clearly she still hasn't completely forgiven Zeus. She's still irritated with them. But what do you say, sidekick? Oh, never mind. She seems like she's cool with it. out of the way, losers. I'm Nami's sidekick. Okay, so Zeus, clearly happy that he has someone that actually wants him. He kind of, I don't want to say he felt betrayed, but, he felt brokenhearted when Mama just kind of abandoned him and was like, nope, I'm done with you. I'm going to feed you to Hera. You picked up something remarkable, too, I got to say. Join the samurai. Strike down Kaido. Okay, and we see everyone's kind of rushing into battle. Hey, have you guys gone insane? Some of the headliners' followers are joining them. There are roughly 1,000 of them, and in surprise of the betrayal, what do we have? Okay, and then we're panning back to CP0, so maybe they're going to give us another recap of how the battle's going. They've managed to take out about 1,000 of ours, meaning the Animal Kingdom pirates started with 30,000 and have dropped to 20,000. Okay, so, slowly shifting that tide of battle. It started off as, I think, either 4,500 or 5,000 against 30,000. Now it seems that the 30,000 has now dropped down to 20,000. And then it says, when you add 1,000 traders and casualties each, that number is dropping even further. It's 16,000 versus 9,000. So you see a huge swing in the good guys. They have managed to almost double their forces right now, whereas Kaido's forces have nearly been cut in half. So, and white may grow further depending on the gifter's efforts. So whichever side wins does not matter to us. But there is one death we must confirm before this is over. Okay, so they're like, they're kind of hoping they'll both wipe each other out. But I think they're trying to confirm Orochi's death, maybe? Are you sure it's him? That classified intelligence he ran off with was old, and there's no real harm to the government. Or are they talking about Drake? No, it's got to be Who's Who. They're got to be talking about Who's Who, yeah. Okay, what am I thinking? Yeah, it's got to be Who's Who. So it doesn't set good precedent that you can escape from us and live to tell the tale. Yup. So clearly they're talking about Who's Who. He was imprisoned by them. Now he's escaping. So what did he run off with besides the knowledge of the fact that they were guarding, the Gomu Gomu no Mi? Assuming he survives this, of course. He is fighting Jinbei after all. Okay, so, even though the warlords have been abolished and, Jinbei had kind of thrown in his hat for the warlords a long time ago and said, oh, I'm not going to be a part of you guys anymore. And now he's part of Luffy's crew. Clearly, CP0 still recognizes the strength that he has. All right, what do we got? Okay, so we're moving back down to the 4th floor. And, okay, we got this epic shot of Who's Who on one side, Jinbei. Looks like everyone's kind of running around. Look out, stay back. Who's Who is going all out. Okay, so, yep, so... Who's Who using all those Rokushiki techniques, the kind of tweaked Rokushiki techniques. Moonwalk, okay, so we see him, he's up there in the flying. We got Jinbei. So are you saying you bear a grudge against Luffy? So he's like, okay, so if you guys remember last chapter, Who's Who was like, you said this has nothing to do with you, but it does, because you said you were the helmsman of the Straw Hats. And when I saw that Luffy came to prominence 2 years ago, I realized he was the one who had eaten the Gomu Gomu no Mi. So pretty interesting. And it says, technically, my grudge is against the man who stole the Gomu Gomu fruit from us, red-haired Shanks. Okay, so it was Shanks that stole it. All right, nice. Fang pistol, okay. See Jinbei over there. He kind of just smacks it off. We got his hockey over there, but it looks like it still was able to draw some blood. But both the straw hat he wore at that time and the Gomu Gomu fruit were things the boy inherited from him. Of course, he'll be the target of my rage. Okay, so not only is Luffy, the inheritor of this fruit that he got from Shanks, which he didn't necessarily get from Shanks willingly, but he took it. But Shanks also gave him his hat, so, this is really kind of when Who's Who must have saw it and realized, okay, not only does he have the fruit, but he's also got the dude that stole it. He's wearing his damn hat, like, just a slap in the face right there. All right, so, what do we got next? Below on the okay, so we're going back down to the 3rd floor, and all these attacks are kind of coming through the floor right now, and everyone's kind of running out of the way. Something's coming through the ceiling. My arm. Who is that? Who's Fang pistol? Okay, so again, it doesn't matter. Friend, foe, those attacks are just coming through the door, or excuse me, through the floor. He has no clue where they're coming. He's just focused on trying to hit Jinbei right now. 4th floor. Okay, so even your color of armament can't stop them. Okay, so, yep, it was some damage he got there, even though he had his hockey up. Clearly, Who's pretty strong. You made the right decision to dodge. Your typical armament hockey won't stop those fangs from tearing you apart. Though I'm surprised to see how quickly you can move on land, Jinbei. For a fishman. Okay, so he's kind of, giving a little jibe there, a little jab, like, hey, you move pretty fast, for a fishman on land. Didn't know fish can move that quick. I don't believe this. Don't you know casual racism against fishermen is out of style these days? Hell yeah, Jinbei. That's what I'm talking about. He's like, yo, that's not in style anymore. That's poor taste. You can't be, you can't be being all racist just because I'm a fisherman. Like, we already moved past that. You need to get with the times. So, what do we have? Haha, sorry about that. Anyway, there's something I wanted to ask you. Iron Body. All right, so we see him kind of crouching up. He's getting ready for a big attack. What do we got here? Okay, so Jinbei, he's getting ready. He's like, huh? What's going on? Fang Flash. Okay, so Who's Who just is pouncing on him, and all Jinbei can do is kind of, he's got his hockey up. His arms are coated in hockey, and he's just bracing for this huge impact. And we see those fangs just kind of coming down to bear right on Jinbei's arms. All right, okay, so we see the impact from Who's Who's angle right there. But, yo, yes, Jinbei caught, he's like this, and he caught the fangs, and now he's throwing Who's Who. Hell yeah. Low tide shoulder throw. So he's using judo throws over here. His fishman, jiu-jitsu, fishman karate. And instead of, just blocking the attack, he capitalized on the fact that Who's Who has these huge fangs being a saber tooth, and he grabbed him and whipped him over and used his momentum. Oh, all right. Water shot. Okay, so now it looks like Jinbei's mounting his counter attack, but Who's Who's not out yet. Shave, so he moves. All right. Ah, that hurt. Anyway, I wanted to ask you about a story I heard in jail from a guard. Okay, so Jinbei, I think, has a story he wants to ask him. While I was there undergoing terrible torments, he laughed and told me to pray. Apparently, there was a figure that slaves would pray to in the long distant past. A legendary warrior they believed would one day free them. The sun god, Nika. Okay, what the hell is this? The sun god, Nika? Did he exist, or did they dream him up? They thought he'd bring smiles to their faces and deliver them from suffering. Okay, and then we see Jinbei. He's kind of got this, perplexed look on his face. My time in prison felt so endless. But we see them, okay, so they're still, even though they're having this conversation, they're, still in the midst of battle. I actually clung to that strange legend of theirs. Okay, so Who's Who, I look forward to this legend. I kind of started to believe it being in prison. Save me. I thought someone, anyone. Why would you ask me about this? Because you led the Sun Pirates. I heard there were former slaves in that crew. And what is fisherman history but the history of slavery? Okay, so does this have something to do with Fisher Tiger? And, is he this alleged sun god Nika? Or, what's going on here? Okay, then we see finger pistol coming in right into Jinbei. Spots. Okay, so he's just coming in with this huge barrage of finger pistols. Looking pretty epic. All right, what do we have next? Okay, so it says, whoa, check it out. Master Who's Who is jabbing this guy out. Get him, boss. I can't believe it. Our Toby Ropo was even stronger than a former warlord. Okay, so I think they might be getting a little ahead of themselves. They see him over here just because he's, taking some damage, getting hit by these attacks. They're over here like, oh, look at how strong the Toby Ropo is. I think that's a little bit premature. But what do we got now? Okay, and that prison guard who told me the story of Nika, they disappeared days later. They disappeared him days later. Okay. I started thinking I was in danger too, so I risked it all to escape, and here I am today. It is deadly to even know about the legend. Fascinating, isn't it? So tell me everything you know. Okay, so I'm kind of curious as to where he was in prison. Was this Impel Down? Because, they thought people were disappeared, but it was actually the Kamabakas. So I'm kind of curious to know where he was imprisoned. What guard is this? Does this guard have any significance? What do you guys think? I don't know. It could be any number of things I think this guard could have been referring to, but we'll see. And then we see Jinbei looking like his hockey is now, I don't know, stronger because it looks like that finger broke. And then what do we have? Okay, Fishman Karate, Shark Grip. And it looks like, okay, so it looks like Jinbei's trying to, I guess, crush his hand so he can't use the finger pistols anymore. I have nothing to say to the likes of you. Who's Who? All right, and then, okay, so I think we see Who's Who trying to kick Jinbei right there. It looks like either he just missed or might have kind of grazed him right over the top of his head right there. Here comes your puncture wound. Fang pistol. All right, so he's trying to fire off the fang bite again. Fishman Karate, secret art. Crap, he just snapped all of a sudden. Okay, so clearly whatever he was asking about, kind of set off something in Jinbei. He seems kind of way more pissed now. And he's like, hey, you're on my tail. If you're going to run your mouth about history, Demon Brick Fist. Okay, and he just seems like he's smashing in who's face. Be ready for what you're stepping into first. Master Who's Who. Okay, so clearly that struck a nerve. So who is this Nika that Who's Who was asking about? And who is this guard that told him about it? You know, he's asking about the Sun Pirates because Jinbei was a former captain of the Sun Pirates. And he said, you know, you guys had a lot of slaves on it. And anyone who knows about the Sun Pirates, you know, Fisher Tiger was the original captain. And he was actually a former slave that scaled the Grand Line to, you know, wreak havoc in Marijois. And he freed a bunch of the slaves, I believe to include, like, Koala. And I can't remember if the Boa sisters were a part of those slaves or not. But, you know, the Sun Pirates clearly, and because they're fishmen, you know, they experience a lot of racism toward themselves. They've been captured for slaves, especially because of how strong they are. So there's a lot of things that, you know, are tying into this whole Sun Pirates, Sun God, Jinbei, Fishman. You know, there's a lot of things going on right now. So it's very interesting. And is it going to tie into something to do with the Gomu Gomu no Mi? I'm going to say no, because it seems like Who's Who learned this while he was in prison. So this was after he already had the Gomu Gomu no Mi. But, you know, maybe he learned this from the guard because the guard found out he lost the Gomu Gomu no Mi and knew there was some, you know, significance. But how did a simple guard know this? Like, there's so many questions I have right now. What else do we got? You know, as far as the tide of battle shifting into the hero's favor, we are almost there. You know, Kaido's forces have been cut in half, whereas Luffy's forces have grown, almost doubled. And then, you know, we see Cypher Pole, and they're talking about Who's Who and this knowledge that he has. So clearly they're, you know, referring to whatever this is Nika stuff is, or are they referring to the Gomu Gomu no Mi? Is there a tie again? You know, there's so many questions that are kind of coming about. We still haven't seen where Luffy is right now. We still don't know how far away Onigashima is from the Flower Capital. Is it about to drop down? We still don't know what's going on with Yamato kind of squaring off against Kaido up top and seeing, you know, is it going to be a full-on battle, or is Luffy going to kind of show up like halfway through? Yeah, there's so many things going on. Definitely an excellent chapter, kind of bringing in more element of that mystery of things that we don't know. You know, as much as it seems like we find out some information, sometimes Oda is still putting us and dropping mysteries, you know, left, right, and center. So keeping it very interesting. Excellent chapter again. If you guys enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, click the bell item if you want to be notified of future videos, and have a wonderful day.